Okay, so now we're going to start talking about collisions. So a collision is just when two things collide, right? They bump into each other. When there is a collision, momentum is conserved, but sometimes kinetic energy can be converted into other kinds of energy. So we have two sets of collision types. We have elastic collisions and inelastic collisions. So we're going to start by talking about inelastic collisions. Inelastic collisions is when kinetic energy changes as a result of the collision. When we're talking about inelastic collisions, and when we talk about kinetic energy changing, that means that our kinetic energy at the start is not the same as the kinetic energy at the end. In a typical inelastic collision, a lot of this kinetic energy is changing into sound, heat, um, deformation. So in an inelastic collision, there's lost kinetic energy. We're going to talk mostly about completely inelastic collisions. So if we're talking about a complete or perfect, complete inelastic. We're talking about the objects stick together after colliding. And hopefully you saw this in your conservation of momentum packet yesterday. So objects will collide and they'll stick together. What's important to know is that momentum conservation applies to all collisions. Okay. In every single collision, you're going to have momentum conservation. Even if um, there's not the same kinetic energy, your momentum will always be the same. So a really good example of our conservation of momentum in a complete inelastic collision was the example that I ran through yesterday, which was number 1 on your worksheet, which is the train cars, right? They collide, they stick together, and then they move. But one of them was going fast, one of them wasn't moving. And so you have speed, hit, and then they move slowly after they collide. So the kinetic energy in that collision changed, but the total momentum stayed the same. Um, so let's do an example of a complete inelastic collision. So let's say a 1.35 kilogram block of wood is at rest. A 0.0105 kilogram bullet moves horizontally with a speed of 715 meters per second and embeds itself in the block. What is the speed of the bullet block system after the collision? Okay, so I'm going to say my system is block of wood and the bullet moving towards the wood. That's my system. So this is my system before, and then afterwards, I have the bullet in the block and it's still moving, and it's going to be moving in the direction of the bullet because that's just intuitively what I'm thinking. Maybe the math will prove me wrong, but intuitively, that's what I'm thinking it's going to be. So we're going to do conservation of momentum. Um, in this case, the mass of the block is 1.35 kilograms. Its speed, 0 meters per second, right? It's at rest. The mass of the bullet, 0.0105 kilograms. And its speed, 715 meters per second. That's before. So now I'm going to calculate what is my total momentum before, my P initial, my total momentum before. Well, it's going to be the momentum of the block of wood, which is 0, because it's not moving. If it's not moving, it doesn't have momentum, plus 0.0105. Its mass times 715, its velocity, 7.5075 kilogram meters per second. So my initial momentum is 7.5, essentially, kilogram meters per second. And then we have to think about, okay, well, my P before is equal to my P final, right? My momentum doesn't change. It's always conserved. And I don't have any forces acting outside this system that I have to think about. Okay, if I had forces coming in from outside the system, that would be different, but I don't. So my total momentum stays the same. My mass of this new combined object is going to be the mass of the bullet plus the mass of the block. So if I have 1.35 plus 0.0105, this is going to be 1.3605 kilograms. And we don't know its velocity, right? But we know that momentum is equal to mass times velocity. We know our momentum, right? Because our total momentum never changes. So we have a momentum of 7.5075 equals my mass of 1.3605 kilograms times my velocity. So my final velocity is just going to be that 7.505 divided by 1.3605. My final velocity, if I'm looking at sig figs, is going to be 3 sig figs, so it's going to be 5.52 meters per second. Okay, so that's an example of a complete inelastic collision. You had a lot of those in your worksheet. We can also talk about these collisions in 2 dimensions. Okay, so we could also say that the sum of momentum in the x direction, initial, equals our momentum in the x direction, final, and our sum of momentum in the y direction at the initial is the same as our momentum in the y direction, final. So momentum is conserved directionally as well. Our total momentum in the x direction will always be the total momentum in the x direction. Our total momentum in the y direction will always be the total momentum in the y direction. So we're going to do one example of this. We have a 950 kilogram car with a speed of 16 meters per second, travels in the positive x direction. So here, this is going to be my blue car. Okay, I'm just going to draw a little rectangle. It's moving in the positive x direction. It's 950 kilograms, and it's moving at 16 meters per second. Okay. We also have a 1,300 kilogram minivan with a speed of 21 meters per second. is heading for the same intersection, traveling in the positive y direction. So I have my red car headed towards that same intersection, but it's traveling in the positive y direction. It's 1,300 kilograms, and it's moving at 21 meters per second. What do you think happens at the intersection? They collide. So they collide at the intersection and stick together. Which produces wreckage, which moves at an angle theta of 61 degrees relative to the positive y-axis. Or positive x-axis. So it says find the speed of the wrecked vehicles just after the collision. Okay, so I'm going to finish drawing this out. So if this is my positive x-axis, this is going to be our angle of 61 degrees, right? So they're traveling, they crash together and then move up at an angle of 61 degrees. We could have found that angle if we really wanted to. That is something that we can find in using our mathematical physics, right? But it's giving it to us to be a little bit easier on us. So we know our initial masses and our initial velocities. We're looking for our final velocity. What we're going to have to do is split this up into our x and y components and then figure out how to sum those two together. So my momentum in the x direction is going to be my momentum of my car that's moving in the x direction, right? If these cars were not moving in parallel with the axes, we would have to split them up into their x and y components like we've done for other types of problems. But in this case, I only care about my car moving in the x direction. So my momentum in the x direction is going to be its mass of 950 kilograms times its speed of 16 meters per second, which means that I have a momentum of 15,200 kilogram meters per second in the x direction. My momentum in the y direction is going to be just the momentum of the red car, which is going to be 1,300 times 21, which is 27,300 kilogram meters per second. My initial momentum is equal to my final momentum, and that's my total momentum, right? So these two cars moving together, they're going to have the same momentum before they crash and after they crash, even though the direction of the cars changes. If we were to sum up their momentum before, it's going to be in line with their momentum afterwards. So what do we have to do? We have to pull out a triangle, right? So the momentum of the blue car is 15,200. The momentum of the red car is 27,300. So what is the resultant momentum of those two? I could tell you right now, this angle is going to be 61 degrees because that's what a problem gives us. And we could have found that mathematically. So now we just have to find our hypotenuse, right? We're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 15,200 squared plus 27,300 squared It's a really big number. Then I'm going to square root that. And I get 31,246 kilogram meters per second squared. That's my total momentum. But is it asking me for my momentum? No, it's asking me for my final speed. So my total momentum is this. And after they're stuck together, now we need to find the total speed. We know that our momentum is equal to mass times velocity. We know our total momentum now is 31,246 equals my mass. We're finding it for the stuck together vehicles. So we're going to add our two masses of the cars together. So it's going to be 950 plus 1,300. So it's 2,250 times the velocity. If we take 31,246 divided by 2,250, we get 13.887. So when we're talking about sig figs, we're going to go to 14 meters per second. So that's an example of how we would find things in an inelastic collision that's in two different directions or in a two-dimensional plane. So now you should have the tools to finish the packet if you haven't already, and then to also work on the study guide later.